Hello friends, how are you doing this fine day? Welcome back to my channel. Let's take a look at my predictions. Let's take a look at my signals. And also, let me tell you guys, these predictions so far are extremely accurate, of course, all of them. We have Bitcoin, we have Solana, we have even meme coins, Pepe. And talking about meme coins, guys, I'm making some really insane profits because I'm applying my knowledge to like the super risky, super very high reward at the same time meme coins that just launch and in like a couple hours or in a bunch of hours, maybe like a range of 10 to 5 to 10 hours, something like that. It's very risky, guys, but at least I know when they are going to collapse. So I'm making some insane profits just constantly, very consistently, consecutively even, because I'm making really nice profits. And I'm even applying them to all of that trash, all the rug pull trash that all of you know when talking about meme coins. So it's really been in a very interesting development so far. I'm not showing that anywhere on my social medias because it's still on a kind of experimental phase. Because it's very risky, it's not something that I will recommend to anyone. I do it because, like you know, I have a talent, I have an unmatched, just absolute blessing that I have to predict stocks, to predict everything, all kinds of things, not just stocks. I'm also predicting a lot of kind of interesting stuff. Some of that obviously I cannot show, not even on YouTube. So anyways, I think you might see some meme coin related content in the near future. I'm just not sure when. But anyways, let's take a look at this Bitcoin chart. So in my last videos, I told you that Bitcoin it achieved one of the highest positions in the month in this range of 5 days. There were also some strong corrections. In fact, some of the strongest corrections so far. It's not the lowest position, but it's the strongest correction so far in the month, exactly like I predicted in the day of 14th of November, just like I told you guys. So yeah, as you know, extreme accuracy. After that, we saw a very long range, lots of days where the price just either stayed in a range or was very undecided. For example, we see some volatility downwards on the 17th of November, only to get back up to the same level basically of the range of the previous days. Then more volatility, the range is still intact. And on the 19th of November, I told you that day was going to be a red day. Now, it looked like it was going to be an actual green day because look at this massive volatility upwards. It reached 93k, but after that the price just collapsed like absolute out of nowhere, just to say something, because I knew this was coming. And even though it did not materialize into a full red day, we did see in fact some powerful red energies in that day. Now after that the price kind of recovers, so it ended up being a very yellowish day, very volatile day, and the position where it closes is slightly higher, but it's not very far from the initial position. So that's a yellow day for me, because you see the only chances of making some profits is just by scalping right here in these positions. But anyways, after that comes today, which is 20th of November, and today we have a green circle. These two alternative days, we have today and tomorrow potential green days. Now tomorrow is especially going to be extremely volatile, very, very, very volatile. Now if it's an uptrend volatility, we could see the price maybe go above maybe 96k. And if it's a very powerful correction, we could see the price returning to this safe range of 92, something like that, or even lower to maybe 90, a solid 90, just a solid 90, maybe not breaking this resistance, these support levels. So yeah, this is basically the outlook for the next 2 days and today, which is like I was told. This is just very clearly for everyone to see. It's an uptrend. It's the new all-time high. It's an even higher position than the one we reached on the 13th of November. Currently in the 90, almost 95 range. Very, very close to the 95 range. So yeah, Now after that, we are going to see that in these days, the 20s, we're already entering these days. These days are also going to be either very volatile or very rangish. Something like the yellow days that we have been seeing in the past few days. Because I think as we basically go near the end of the month, especially the final days of the month, especially the last 5 final days, these days are going to be critical. Now, why do I say that? Because there's this box, this rectangle, which has 5 final, means the 5 final days. So that means that the 5 final days of the month, specifically those 5 days, could be very reddish, very correction like. So we have to keep in mind and be prepared for that scenario if that does happen. But at the same time, there's this, the final circle of the month is green. Now, some of you already know what's this about, what this really means. But for those of you who are new or just watching this for the first time, okay, so whenever we have the final circle of the month in whatever color, either especially green or red, that really means that the final days of the month, not just that final day, the final days, like the last final 6-7 days, could be also impacted by that energy. We saw this in every other cryptocurrency prediction that I have covered, especially in all the other predictions that I cover in my last updates. For example, we see that in the last month, October, we saw the last circle of the month was red. So we started to see some cooldowns on the 19th of October, and on the 30 and 31 very hard corrections. That's exactly what that means. Now that was a very mild scenario because that month was very bullish, but we could see some other months, for example September, where it also crashed in the final 3 days, final 4 days, something like that of the month. So the same scenario could happen here, but vice versa, because we have a green circle, meaning that these last 5 days could be very volatile, very, very volatile. So we have to be prepared in any case, in any scenario. Now, depending on how volatile they get and depending on how high we go in these green days that are still left for the month and these potential 5 yellow days, we could see Bitcoin reach the 6-digit figure, 100K, near the end of the month or in the final day of the month. So it will be very bullish indeed, very, very bullish. So we have to keep an eye out for that. We have to be prepared, guys. This is no joke. This is going to be the biggest bull run ever. It's going to print a lot of more millionaires than other bull runs, maybe with the exception of the first bull runs where, you could have Bitcoin at just like $10. I mean, that was insane. I hope some of you already at least made that. I didn't. So, anyways, it's not just, it doesn't matter, guys. Wealth, it just comes very easily when you are really tuned into the blessings. So anyways, this is for Bitcoin. Now let's take a look at Solana. And immediately we see that Solana is doing not so good compared to Bitcoin. For example, we see that today was a very volatile day for Solana, just like I predicted. It was not going to be a solid green day because there was this yellow energy as well. So what we could see, what we are actually seeing right now, because the day has not yet closed, is that the price is on a very similar, if not identical position to where it opens, with a lot of volatility in between the day. So depending on how it closes, guys, I mean, I think it's going to close like this. It's going to be a yellow day by the book. And we could see even more volatility on the 22, or maybe a range, maybe a cool down, and on the 23 and possibly 24. Could be very volatile days, especially 24 and 25 for Solana are going to be very volatile days. Again, this pattern, you guys know already what this means, how we can interpret this pattern. So be prepared for these days if you're doing scalping or anything like that. And just like Bitcoin, we also have the final days in green for Solana. So Solana will also be favored. We also have some nice gains in the final days. Finally, let's take a look at Pepe, which is the meme coin that I have as a friend requested and I have been predicting so far. Now, very insane gains. on the 13th of November, the day that I predicted was going to be a green day. Now, just take a look at this piece of a green day. So yeah, it's quite massive. But in this scenario right here, we're starting to see that the price is really going down. And right now it's very close to this support level. So if it breaks, we could see the price return to maybe these levels. If that does happen, it could happen in these red days, possibly the 22 or possibly the 26. Yeah, this 26. Now there's a potential of green days, very powerful green days for Pepe. Maybe even 3 consecutive green days, 22, 23, or 24. Now I'm not so sure because, like I told you in the very first video of my predictions this month, I told you that for Pepe I was doing something, some experimental charts. I'm not doing all of the days, for example. The day of today, which is the 20th of November, does not appear in a single circle. There is not a single circle containing that day. Now, there's a reason for that, because I'm really only focusing on the potentially biggest days, the most active days, the most profitable days, or the most correction-like days. So this is only for Pepe. Yeah, guys, I think that's all. Like I told you, you might see some income related content in the very near future, maybe possibly an entirely new section, something like that, for only meme coin and only meme coin tracking. So yeah, be prepared for that, guys, and I'll see you later. Take care.